get this thing going. All right. There we go. How's everybody doing today? Hello. Go. Let's see here. Can you all hear me okay? What should I do there? Guess I can move that around. Can we move it here? All right, there we are. There we are. Hello, everyone. All right, cool. Cool, thanks. Cool. All right, just trying to get some stuff out of the way so we can. It's easier to do a few things. So. All right. Almost ready to get started here in just a couple of minutes. I'm sure we'll have a few people join us a little bit later. This is typically how the class is gonna kind of go here. So a lot of things to kind of explain. So, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing okay. I'm doing yeah, cool. I'm doing really well. I'm doing really well. I hope you guys are. I know that this is not something everybody wanted, but I hope that we'll ease into this process here of doing some math here for the course of the semester. So we're gonna try our best here, certainly. So I don't want you to feel like very overwhelmed. We'll go ahead and we'll take things slow to a degree. It just I have some plans, of course, because evil plans is what I do because I'm a math professor. That's just only natural. Hello, how are you? Okay, that's okay. You have access. All right, so you enter your access code. Do you have the course ID? I guess I'll go through that as well. Um, so if you have your access code, that's good. You obviously have you registered yet? Just to ask. I hope you've registered. So, but you'll need the course ID so you can link to the course. So I'll go over that carefully there. So that way everybody's kind of on the up and up about how to register if you haven't already. So. Okay. Does the access code come with the online book from the bookstore? Yes. So I'll go over that as well because preferably you do just want the access code. There is an e-text that comes with the access code. So you don't have to actually buy the physical copy of the textbook. There is a physical copy here. That's, I'm given to it for free from the college. But this book is me. This book is really expensive. So I don't suggest to go buy the physical copy unless you can rent it for cheap. So yeah, I just want to save you guys some money, and it's just a lot easier if you do the e-text there. So I'll go through all those processes here today because yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have questions about that. So I'll do that. Okay. All right, let's do this. Let's do this stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here for today. Welcome back to the very first day of the semester. All right. Um, I hope, obviously, things kind of worked out this way. We're all on web class. Now, trust me when I say this, everybody. We are here for Math 097. Okay, so Math 097 is what we're doing here today. I'm just gonna, yeah, there we go. I think that did change it over there. All right, so we're here for Math 097 here for today. Again, we'll be meeting here on Mondays and Wednesdays here at 5 o'clock to 7:45. If we do need to go a little bit over time, that's fine. I'll be more than happy to do that if you feel that you have a few more questions or whatnot. So just understand, we may take a break in the middle. That because sitting for 2 hours and 45 minutes is quite a long time. So I completely understand that. Now, um, one thing that we're going to do here first and foremost is want to address a few things. So right now, as it stands, I'm going to be teaching 3 classes of Math 97. One is the first 8-week course, which some of you are registered in. One is a 16-week course, which some of you are registered in. And then one is the last 8-week course, which I don't know if anybody's going to be in here for that, because obviously that starts in the middle of the semester. Now, what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to be essentially, because we have an 8-week course and a 16-week course, I'm going to be teaching essentially um, using the 8-week style. So thank you very much. I'm going to be using the 8-week style here. So meaning to say, I'm going to be going ahead and what should we call it here? I'm going to be just kind of doing double time here. So essentially, I'll be doing today like the syllabus and kind of the introduction stuff here today, and a chapter 1. This that fits with the 8-week format. Now, for those of you in the 16-week class, just to be clear, you only have to cover half the material. So if you say, hey, if we do say, chapter 2 next time, and I end up doing like sections 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4, because that's for the 8-week class, you can actually bounce out after sections 2-1 and 2-2 if you like. I will be re-going over that material halfway through the semester because, again, I'm not going to disenfranchise you from material here. So I may just restart up with like chapter 6, which would be technically the halfway through, and then we can re-go over chapter 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, which would be the second half of the course. And yeah, that's essentially what I'll be doing. I'll be doing the second 8-week class as a separate stream altogether. So I want to just kind of tell you guys that, so that way you're still gonna get your 16 weeks worth of content. You'll just get all 16 weeks in 8 weeks, or again, we'll just restart off from chapter 6, and we'll move forward from there as well. So that is completely up to you. How if you want to skip out halfway through, that's perfectly fine. For the 16 people who are registered in the 16-week class, if you want to stick around and just kind of learn both at the same time, hey, that's fine too. I have no problems with that whatsoever. The due dates for certain things will be different, so of course I will be announcing those once we get closer to those dates. And once we talk about the syllabus, you'll see how things kind of work out. Before we formally get started here, are there any questions here so far? I will be in lectures. I'll be just taking a little bit of a pause, and you guys can go ahead and ask me questions if you like through the chat. All right. If you don't have any questions, just type no in the chat, so that way I know to move on. So with that, let me just, before we kind of formally get started, are there any questions any of you have? Okay, now one more thing to kind of clarify here. This is the live stream here for my channel, so understand that this replay for this live stream will be put up right away up here on Twitch, and via Twitch's guidelines, I can upload it to YouTube 24 hours after the initial live stream. So by say you know 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow, or whatever the case may be, I'll be uploading that, or maybe like 8 o'clock. I'll be uploading that to my YouTube channel, and then that way there's kind of like a permanent home, because the Twitch replay only lasts for 14 days. So I want to have a permanent home for things that you may miss, because I understand life happens. Sometimes you can't make it to class, and that's fine. I'm not going to hold that against you. There's just to clarify here, there's no attendance requirement here for this course. Okay, so this is all online, and a lot of you guys have work and other things that you may need to do, and I totally understand that. I'm very sympathetic to that, and I'm sure that a lot of you have concerns regarding that. But yeah, trust me, there's no attendance portion of the grade here. I'll go ahead and showcase that here in just a second. All right, now, um, if you haven't used Blackboard before, I'm just going to go over just kind of how to access Blackboard here really quick. So if you go to harpercollege.edu here, um, and you can open that up in a new tab. If you click this icon here on the upper right hand corner, this kind of drop down list, you'll notice that you have Blackboard here, and you go ahead and click that and enter in your login credentials, and you'll see a list of your courses. Depending on which course that you're in, you'll click on that one. Yeah, there's a lot of different sections here for 097, so just click on the one that's, of course, you should only have one that shows up, me, because I'm teaching different sections. That's what shows up there. But you'll get to this page here, and I'll go to the oops, I didn't mean to do that. Go to the I'm just gonna kind of swap around here. So you'll get to this page here, which says announcements, and you'll see kind of the instructions here. Okay, of the course, and we'll talk about this here. So again, it could be 8 weeks, 16 weeks. Again, Mymathlab, there's a link for that. This is the course ID that goes directly to our course. I'll describe more about that here momentarily. The link to the Twitch channel that you're currently on, and the YouTube channel, which you can also subscribe to if you would like to go through YouTube. So again, you're under no obligation to subscribe. I'm not going to be like, please link, comment, subscribe. Oh yeah, look at all that stuff. All right, so no, not that kind of dude. So okay, let's go over the syllabus here, and let's talk about syllabus. Here is the same for all the classes. Again, obviously the dates will be slightly a bit different, so we'll we'll look at that here. Oh, hello. Wow, thanks for the raid there. Appreciate you. Um, so let's take a good look here at the syllabus. Okay. So for the 8-week class here, we're going to meet from August 24th to October 18th. Again, there's a link here to the Twitch channel and Mymathlab, so that's all good. All right, so here's my name, Ali Malik. You could just call me Ali or Professor Chips or whatever. I don't really care. But whatever you want to call me, that's fine, as long as it's nice and appropriate. Just call me Ali. It's just easier that way, if you like. So whatever. This is my phone number here. That phone number there is going to go directly to my cell phone there. All right. If you need me in case of emergency, then please feel free to call me there. If This is my email here. All right, at amalik@harpercollege.edu. All right, so please go ahead and you could go ahead and email me there. I'll talk about another way you can contact me there. Again, my cell phone should only be used for emergency purposes only, in case if crazy stuff happens. Considering we're an online course, and you can watch videos or lessons, kind of the next day after. I don't think that should be too much of a problem. Tests shouldn't be too much of a problem either for time constraints. So I don't like do the test like you gotta do it the day of. Like, no, there'll be a due date for the test, so, and you'll be given plenty of time of which to finish. So I will talk about that when we get there. There's course outcomes here. You can read about that. That's all great and good. That's all wonderful stuff. Okay, let's talk about the book here. So, as I mentioned here, this is the textbook here. All right, so here's Mr. The Textbook, Mathematics of the Trades, A Guided Approach, the 11th edition. Like I said here, this book here is is pretty expensive, brand new, very, very expensive. So, like I said, I don't suggest to actually buying this book. If you're more of the type that wants to get the physical copy of the textbook, that's great, but it's better to get the access code with Mymathlab, and then you'll get the electronic text to go along with that, and it'll save you a bundle of money. I think the bundle here in the bookstore when people were on campus last semester, this thing was like 280 bucks, and the code by itself I think is just like 110 or something. And yeah, you could tell the difference of just saving a ton of money. So I prefer you guys saving a ton of money. So yeah, that's kind of like my prerogative there. Um, okay, you can use a calculator, a TI-8384, so a graphing calculator. Will be useful here for this class. A basic calculator is good, but near the end of the semester there, we're going to be using, say, things with pi or sine, cosine, and tangent with trigonometry. We were going to probably need to, a graphing calculator is much more helpful there. If you have something on your phone, maybe that'll be helpful too if it has that kind of functionality. The access code here as well. All right, so let's talk about how things will work here in this class. All right, so first of all, we have homework. Now, all the homework assignments will be on Mymathlab. All right, each homework assignment will be worth 5 points. Okay, so let me go ahead and describe what this means here when I say each homework assignment will be worth 5 points. So not every assignment is equal. So basically, what does that mean? Meaning to say some assignments have, say, 10 questions, some assignments have 20 questions. And however much you get correct, you'll get a percentage of correct there. And whatever percentage you get, you'll get that amount of points out of 5 points per assignment. So I will give you exactly the amount of points that you basically put in. It's a very fair system. So if you get 50% of the assignment correct, I'm going to give you 2.5 points out of 5. So essentially, at the end of the day, it's not just 0 or 5 or whatever. It's what you can put in. Now, also regarding due dates of homework assignments, homework assignments will be due the day of the corresponding test. So, for example, here, the first test is over chapters 1 to 5, and so once I announce the test here, all the homework from chapters 1 to 5 will be due on that particular day. Um, so that'll be for chapters, say 1 to 5. The last half is 6 to 10. And then whenever that test is due, whenever that test is announced, again, all the homework from chapters 6 to 10 will be due on that day. So right now, as you can see, the due dates right now are till the end of the 16 weeks. It says the 18th of December. All right. But even if that says the 18th of December, I will be changing up those dates here just a little bit. Again, you'll have a chance to, there'll be a set due date for that. Uh, so I'll be manually changing those as time goes along once I make those announcements. And the announcement for the test here is usually a week ahead of time. So meaning, again, I like to give a fair warning here to give you a heads up. And the tests will be done online. So we'll talk more about that as time goes along. So once we get closer to that first exam, I'll describe what the conditions are and whatnot. But I'm not too strict about super strict about conditions and everything. Exams, there'll be 2 exams in class, as I mentioned here, chapters 1 to 5 and chapters 6 to 10. Basically, that's how the exams will be done. Each is worth you plain 100 points each, so 200 points. And the final exam will be due at the last day of class. So whenever the last day of class is for your course, whether that be October 18th for the 8-week class or December 17th for the 16-week class, is when the final exam will be due. Okay, so essentially, I'll be posting up the final exam before time. I'll say it's going to be due by the 17th. Hi, how you doing, Tracy? Glad you can make it. Um, so when whenever that's going to be due, uh, I'll be posting that up before that time. So again, December 17th for the 16-week course, October 18th for the 8-week course, and you should be good to go. And of course, I'll make announcements, of course, well before then, so you have a heads up on that. Um, so a total out of 495 points is how this class is going to go. Okay. Are there any questions so far? Again, for those of you who weren't here earlier, if I usually ask if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, just type no in the chat and I can move on. Or if you do have questions, please just type it out and I'll be happy to answer that for you right now. What games do I play and or stream? I sometimes I'll do Mario Maker 2, or I did a Fall Guys stream the other day just as a test. So Fall Guys is pretty fun. So I will say that. But maths has to come first because we gotta get business done. Business is always first, and then we get to enjoy ourselves. Want to get you guys up that ladder, So that's very important to me. All right, let's go ahead and move forward here. Um, there'll be no late homework accepted. You purchased the 7th edition. Um, you purchased the 7th edition. I did see that we needed the 11th edition. Yeah, the 11th edition is the current book there. Did you purchase an access code for the 7th edition? Because I wanna see if you did, then yeah, that's different. That's different than the access code for the 11th edition based on how Pearson works. So usually you could just buy the access. Yeah, okay. So that's probably the reason why. You could just buy the access code straight up. It was a set. You bought it for the 7th edition. Yes, that's correct. The 11th edition here. So I'll put that back up here. So the 11th edition here. You asked me an email and said it was the 7th. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I see. All right, right. I see what happened there. Okay. All right. Uh, I think I know what happened. Uh, Admittingly, I probably got confused with that with my Math 101 class, which is the 7th edition of that textbook. So I may have gotten your two classes confused because I'm kind of doing both. So the 11th edition is for this class, and the 7th edition was for the other class, and that's probably where I got my wires mixed up. In either case, I don't want you to go ahead and waste money here. So what I'd like you to do here is, if you did get the 7th edition, if you could email me your name and your Harper College ID there. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can see if you can talk to Pearson. I'll just go ahead and see if I can talk to Pearson and get you registered. Give me your email, your login, just your username and stuff as well, um, so we can get you put in the correct class. Because I don't want you to have to, waste money and stuff. That'd be bad. So I'll see if Pearson's gonna do it for me. So the sound cuts in and out. I think my stream is okay. Does the sound cut in and out for anyone else? No? Okay. Yeah, just check your connection there. Yeah, of course, of course. No. You look. If it's my fault, look. Here's the way I do things. If it's my fault for telling you bad information, I gotta take responsibility for that. That's very important. So, um, 100%. So I'm gonna talk to Pearson. I'm gonna talk to Pearson, but you guys need to give me your username and ID, your username on Pearson, and we'll see what we need to do there in order to get you registered for the course. You give me your full name and your username and stuff, and we'll see what we can do to get you registered for the course with the proper access ID, so access code and the course ID there. So I'm really sorry. That's not something I would like to do. So yeah, please email me immediately, and I will see what I can do here. It may take a day or two. I'll try and get it done as soon as I possibly can, but it may take a day or two because Pearson is just notoriously slow. So especially at the beginning of the year. But I want to get you in as quickly as possible. Yeah, just do it as soon as you can, so I can immediately address that. Okay. So I'll take care of it. I'll try and take care of it after class, or I don't know if Pearson's going to be open after class, but I'll be taking care of it tomorrow because I think their hours are till like 7:30 or something. But I want to take care of it ASAP because like I said, I'm not in the business of disenfranchising anybody. So I want to be sure that you're taken care of. Yeah, so I guess the best way to kind of put that is that yeah, unfortunately everything will be strictly online. Um, that's just the way it is now. Like I kind of said here, to be perfectly honest, I wish I could meet you guys face to face. That I wish I could. I kind of was balancing between Zoom and this, and I was like, you know what, Zoom's kind of annoying. So I'm like, and then you got to put your face in front of the camera. I'm like, I'll put my face in front of the camera, but I'm not gonna make you guys do that. And it's easier for you guys to just type out questions and stuff, and if you need to hit the restroom or whatever and do whatever you need to do behind the scenes, then you can just go do that and then come back. So, I prefer it this way on Twitch because it's just a lot easier, I think, for everyone involved. It's not, I'm not here to make things very difficult. I'm trying to make a simple enough transition for you guys because, like I said, nobody asked for this. I don't think anybody asked for this, but we're gonna make the best of it, and I promise you that we're gonna make the best of it. Are there any other questions you guys have before I move forward? No. No attendance is taken. Nope. Here's the way I kind of view things. Let me go ahead and talk about that here about attendance. I'll put it this way. Okay, I'll put it this way. Really quick. This is what I would do the first day of class. And I'm just going to ask you a very simple question. Do you consider yourself an adult? Just type yes or no in the chat. Do you consider yourself an adult? okay. And everybody in the chat saying, yeah, I consider myself an adult, and I will 100% agree with all of you. You all are adults, and all of you can take care of yourselves and watch after yourselves. And I will treat you like an adult. You're responsible for what you do. There are consequences for not doing certain things. And I'll lay it. Of course, you already know what those consequences are. You lose points or whatever. You don't study, then of course you're not going to do very well on the exams and whatnot. But I will give you every opportunity to do as good as possible. I want what's best for you guys, and I say, you know, if you say, hey, I need your help, Ali, with some math stuff, I said, great. I'll be more than happy to reach out my hand and say, hey, you need some help, I'll be happy to lift you up. Because I know, look, one thing I know is that math is a pain in the ass. All right, math is a pain in the ass subject for a lot of people. All right, it is not easy. Okay, it's another language altogether. um, you may have had bad experiences with math in the past, and I can totally empathize with that. Surprisingly enough, you may not think so, but yeah, I can totally empathize with that. Um, and but I'll treat you like the responsible adult you are. If you want to get better, I'll be more than happy to help you. If you don't want to get better, if you don't want to, help yourself, then nobody can help you. Okay. If you ask me, nobody can help you if you don't want to help yourself. And I'm willing to help you, but you got to want to help yourself. You got to meet me halfway at the end of the day, because you're an adult as well. So, I want to meet you eye to eye. I'm not, I know everybody talks about, hey, you got a teacher and you got a student, and it has to be like this. And I think that's a whole load of nonsense. Said for me, we're like this, okay? We're equals here. All right? We're all equals here. I want to treat you like an equal. I think that can be easily done here. We just talk on the level, and I want to be able to help you, because we all want to get through this. We all have goals in mind. We all have needs that we want to be fulfilled, and more importantly, this is a good stepping stone into being independent. And that's one of the most important things that I think all of us can certainly agree on, is that if this is just one stepping stone to being independent, then let's make it a good stepping stone, and hopefully we learn a little bit out of this course. One of my biggest goals here, just to let you know, is if you walk out of this class knowing just a little bit more, it doesn't have to be a lot, just a bit more than you walked in with, then I can say I did my job, and I want to be able to help you with that. If you don't want to help, you say, if you do nothing and you complain about stuff, then I'm just going to tell you the three most famous words in the English language. I'll be like, it's not my problem. So it's not my problem if you're gonna complain and stuff. If you're not doing so hot and you're not doing the work, but it is my problem if you're doing. It is going to be. I will be able to help you if you're putting forth the effort and everything like that. I'll be more than happy to put forth, put that in for you. So that's not a problem. Does anybody have any other questions about that, really quick? Yes, I've had people fail this class because they didn't put in the work, time, and effort. And honestly speaking, it's not a lot of effort. Okay, so you don't need a lot of effort, trust me, to pass this class. So it's really shouldn't be too much of a big deal in my personal opinion. I think that's from my. Oh, I know where that's from. It's probably my email there. So go ahead and close those. Go. Do I want you to fail? No, of course not. I don't want you to fail. There's no reason for you to fail. I have no desire to want you to fail. All right, that's not the point. The point is not to be some narcissistic teacher and say, "Oh man, you know what? I'm a math professor and I'm going to try and make the normal distribution curve that kind of looks like this, and I'll make sure that all of part of you fail. That's what I want to do. I mean, I could be evil, but man, that requires effort. All right, there's more effort to being evil than there is just doing the right thing. So, um, I don't want to do it. I'm too lazy for that. Any other questions you guys got? No. All right. Cool. Cool. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and talk about another thing here besides the. Let me go back to the syllabus here. If there's anything else in the syllabus that I want. So attendance, yeah, did yada. Okay, my math lab. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, academic dishonesty. Don't cheat. All right, we're equal opportunity. ADS. If you are ADS of any type, I probably did receive an email in regards to that. Just kind of give me a friendly reminder there if you have any special circumstances you'd like me to do. Then just shoot me an email, and then I'll be happy to talk with you privately, certainly regarding any disability stuff. So I do get ADS emails. It's just with a lot of classes and a lot of people, just give me a friendly reminder there. Now, considering everything is online, I would go to Harper College website to see, for the tutoring center, because it's now all online for this semester. So, check out the hours and everything like that. I would. This is kind of older information there, but that's just the way it is. This is our tentative schedule for 8 weeks. The 16 weeks will be just kind of more spread out, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, there's that. That's a thing. Uh, mm-hmm. Okay, so that's basically, this is tentative, so do understand that this is not going to be set in stone necessarily. This is all tentative. Like I said, my goal is to basically do this, just work ahead, essentially. So, because there's a lot to do in those 8 weeks, or even in the 16 weeks, there's still plenty to do and plenty to talk about. So, no question about that. All right. Now, let's talk about my math lab here just a little bit more, because of course I know a lot of you uh, have questions about that. Now, if you go to course materials here on the Blackboard page, you can click on My Math Lab info for 097, and out will pop a document. And this has again, the course ID here. And these are kind of older instructions, but these are the same instructions to register. So if you're not sure, this cost here is of course rather old. It's probably like $100 or whatever. But yeah, the most important part here is the course ID, and I've also put the course ID here in the announcements as well, so you can see that right here. There's the course ID. Now, once you are registered for my math lab, you'll get through the access code, and you'll have a prompt there for the course ID. So I'm going to go to mymathlab.com. I'm going to kind of do this off screen here. So you go to mymathlab.com, you'll come up to this screen right here. You'll click on sign in, and I'm already signed in. You'll log in with your credentials, whatever they may be. Now, I have multiple courses on here. You may have multiple courses depending on what classes that you're taking. But we're going to go ahead and click on Math 097. Okay, and you'll come up to this page right here. Okay, now I have a few more things associated with this, but that's okay. Over on the left-hand side, you can see the e-text here. So you can click on the e-text and it'll take you to an electronic version of the e-text. If you click that link, it says e-text. So we'll go ahead and go to the e-text here. It may take a little time to load, but again, and there we go. And you can go to any page in the book here. Let's say page 20 or whatever. And there you go. It'll pop up page 20 for you like so. Now, a lot of the examples here in the textbook we will be using here All right, because it does showcase a lot of things that I want to talk about here. Like you'll see what I'm talking about here today when it comes to um, kind of what the focus really is about the course. So really the course here is just kind of like skimming the surface level of a lot of different concepts, but we want to actually be able to use it in an application. So one of the reasons why I love this class so much is because there's a lot of practicality behind it, as opposed to being saying, oh yeah, here's some factoring, go do stuff, and then you don't have any use for it. So no, for a lot of people math should be useful, and depending on what you're going to be doing. So I like the practicality side behind this class, and we're going to want to actually gear toward that more than just kind of like the base concept by itself. So that's going to be the bigger goal, is just lots and lots of different applications, because at the end of the day, critically thinking is very important. So very, very important. Can certainly take you very far. So um, now, also on the left-hand side here of Mymathlab is if you click on assignments, and you will see a list of your assignments here. Aside from the test and homework online, will we have any other assignments? No. So I want to keep it as basic and easy as possible. Okay, so as simple as possible. I'm a simple dude. I want I want it to be simple for you. Yeah, totally Gucci. So yeah, just keep it as easy as possible. I don't want this to be super overwhelming, because I know that anytime we talk about math, it's already the word overwhelming is already in the vocabulary. So we want to go ahead and make it simple. Make it simple. That's very, very important. So you can see all the assignments listed here. I know they're a little bit out of order because I added chapter 6 a little bit later, but yeah, chapter 6 is kind of down here. So you can see all the sections here that are available. You can go ahead and work ahead if you like. I don't particularly mind. If some people already have, and I think that's great. Some of the concepts here are very, very easy and very simple to get through. And some of them are going to be a little bit tough, and admittingly. So, but if you feel more comfortable with some ideas, yeah, go for it. Just work ahead. I have no problem with that whatsoever. You don't have to necessarily go with the pace of the course. I go at a certain pace, but if you can work ahead, that's fine. Or if you just want to go with my pace, you can feel free to do so. So, there's no pressure. You get as many tries as you like on each question. Although I do need to clarify that here for just a moment. So on Mymathlab, if you've never used Mymathlab, will you have a study guide before an exam? Yeah, I can do a practice test of some kind. Yeah, I can certainly post something like that up. Sure, that's not a problem. I'll post it as kind of like a separate thing before you do the actual test. Yeah, I can do that for you, Tracy. That way you'll be, yeah, no problem. Of course. Just I think that's a good idea. Just to kind of get comfortable about what the test looks like and everything like that. I think that's fine. So let me go ahead and explain how things work for the homework, at least. You get unlimited tries, but unlimited tries is a little different in Mymathlab. So what you'll get is you'll get a question, and let's say you get it wrong 3 times in a row. Let's say you guess 3 times in a row and you get it wrong. So that's okay. You get it wrong 3 times in a row, and a button will pop up at the bottom of the question. It'll say similar question. And you can click on similar question, and you can retry a problem. It'll just change the numbers up just a little bit. And then you get another 3 tries on that. And you can keep doing that as many times you want until you get it right, and then you'll get full credit for that question. So that's the Mymathlab way of quote unquote unlimited tries. Okay, so just to let you know, that's basically how that system is going to work. For tests, that will be slightly a bit different. All right. The practice test, though, I'll probably give you unlimited tries to kind of get you comfortable about what kind of questions to expect for the exam, of course. So I think thank you for letting me know about that, Tracy. Yeah, I think I think that's a wonderful idea. I think I will implement that before the I post the tests there. So I'll probably put up a final exam, uh, like study guide or practice test or whatever you want to kind of call it. So that should be fine. So that's essentially how it works in Mymathlab. Again, you don't forget to save. There's a save button, usually on the upper right-hand corner or something. You can save your progress there. Come on back. You know, again, I gave you unlimited time on the homework and unlimited chances. Again, this class is about learning, so you know, only the test will be restricted in some form or capacity, but really the homework there, you know. Do I add any extra credit problems during exams? I mean, if we were doing a paper-based test, yeah, I guess. Unfortunately, I know what kind of extra credit question I could ask you guys, but I'll uh, I'll save that for later. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. There'll be some extra credit possibilities, that's for sure. So okay, so that's basically how Mymathlab will work. It's fairly straightforward, fairly easy once you get registered and whatnot. Are there any questions about Mymathlab that you would like to ask? Again, you can go ahead and type no in the chat if you have no questions. What day is homework due? Homework will be due the day of the corresponding test. So once I announce the test, then the sections that are covered for that test will be due on that day. Nay, he says, nay. Okay. Alrighty. So that pretty much is an overview there. Now, I do have just a couple more things. I know there's kind of a lot to cover here today since everything's kind of online. All right. Um, Now, a couple more, one more thing I do want to talk about here is the discussion board. So if you click on the discussion board there, there you can see you can do, again, some people have done introductions here. So if you'd like to introduce yourself to the rest of the class, just kind of get to know each other. Or if you guys want to plan some study groups or whatever you want to do outside of class, there's a nice way to introduce each other. If you'd like to ask me questions, there is a discussion board for that. You see all math questions there. So if you want to ask me any math question, let's say you're having tough time with a particular concept or whatever, feel free to post that into the all math questions discussion board, and then I will answer that discussion post here within 24 hours, okay, of you posting it. So I'll be checking that back on that every day, so I can, kind of properly acknowledge your questions. I know some concepts can be fairly difficult, so hopefully I can answer that to the best of my ability to help you as much as I can. And then there's one last board here. There's the anything else board. You can put anything you want. You can put memes or whatever you want, just as long as the language is clean and friendly. Then I'm cool with that. You can put like math memes. You can put like oh, whatever memes. Just keep it clean and friendly. No politics or anything like that, please. So but if you want to talk about whatever, feel free to talk about whatever. So it's all good. Um, yeah. So that is about that. I'll be creating a grade book at some point to kind of keep you updated with your grades. Obviously, that's not going to be really relevant right now since we just got started. But yeah, I'll be updating the grade book there and then posting your grades for so you can keep yourself up to date once the first test kind of rolls around. All right. So that pretty much is it for the syllabus there. Okay, and Blackboard. Are there any questions about anything at all over anything that I've talked about here so far? Okay. I just hope I'm making things clear. That's all. Sometimes I know I can tend to ramble on for quite a while, so I don't want to be like that guy. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the course in general. Let's go ahead and get started here with a little bit of kind of how the course is going to go. Um, there may be times where we may end up a little bit early, just depending on how much of the material we go through. But and try and keep it as filling this up as much as I humanly possibly can. Now, let's talk about Chapter 1. All right, so Chapter 1 here. Well, if you've already previewed Chapter 1, you could say, well, Chapter 1's kind of a joke. And you're like, well, I'll be like, yeah, Chapter 1 can be considered kind of a joke because, again, Chapter 1 is all about plus, minus, times, divide, and order of operations. So let's talk about that here for just a second. We're going to be looking at this in a slightly different way, and let's talk about how what exactly that means. So I'm just going to put Chapter 1 here, just some random notes here. So for Chapter 1 is basically plus, plus, minus, times, and divide. Okay. So by itself, I think I think for the most part, uh, most people know how to do at least basic arithmetic to some degree, plus, minus, times, and divide to some degree. Okay, now of course, let's be practical here for just a moment. Okay, so like I said, one of the things that I like about this class is just being as practical as possible. Being practical here is sometimes you may need to think on your feet, and do quick calculations in your head. And then most times, if you're at work, then you're doing stuff on your calculator. Okay, so which I can totally understand. Okay, so to be as realistic as possible, it's not like I don't recognize that. Even as a math teacher, I'm like, oh yeah, you got to do everything in your head at work. Like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, you got to get your job done faster. Well, then, yeah, calculator is probably the easiest way to go. But even with plus, minus, times, and divide, even if that's the case, where you're using your calculator and whatnot, what the most important part is that we want to be able to use plus, minus, times, and divide in some capacity to critically think through different scenarios that we do actually see on either a day-to-day basis or every so often. So the one thing about this is that critical thinking. Let me tell you, spelling was not my thing. Critical thinking. So for critical thinking here, we're going to be expressing that through, say, word problems. Okay. So, and we're going to look at some keys here regarding that. So let's look at some important keys in regards to some critical thinking. Really quick, can you guys see that? Okay, is that can you guys read that? Okay, or should I make that bigger? Apologies if I'm you know. Yeah, you guys can see that, or you want me to make that bigger? Now it's good. I just want to be sure that you guys can read that. Yes? Okay, let me make that a tad bit bigger. Okay. I'm like a lot of you guys where I have like, my eyesight is terrible, okay? I'm gonna be honest with you. My eyesight is just like god awful. So, like like dead serious here, if I took off my glasses, right? If I took off my glasses, like the clearest I can see in front of me is where this mic is. I can see the mic clearly, and then everything beyond that, I have, it's complete. It's all blurry. I can't even read the screen, and it's right in front of me. It's terrible. But it's just like, oh man, what am I doing? All right. Oh. So I don't know if you guys do the same thing too. If you have that issue, is that what I do is because you can lose your glasses at any moment in time, I kind of memorize the layout of the room, and then basically you kind of like do all the Velma from Scooby Doo thing, and then you kind of pat around for your glasses if you kind of accidentally drop it and stuff. So you know the layout of the room, but you're just kind of like, just kind of smoothing the floor out just to see if you can touch your glasses or whatever. I know that sounds weird, but it's it's exactly what happens whenever I drop my glasses on accident. So I'm just like, okay, I know what the room looks like, but I'm gonna go army style, go on my elbows, just kind of slowly go through, really, really slow. And if I touch some glass, then I know exactly where they are. Perfect. Something like that. All right. Oh man, too much fun. Okay, so let's let's take a good look here at some of the keys here behind word problems. The first thing that I want to talk about here are keywords. Okay, keywords here are very important here in most word problems. Okay, so if we take a look here at the book, so I'm just going to go over here for just a second, just kind of put that as a side here. See if I can scroll over here. Can I get that to? I don't know if I can get that to work like that. It's kind of annoying. All right. So if you look on, let's go to page in your e-text if you have your e-text out. If not, that's okay too. I'm just going to show you on the screen here. So let's see, it's page 16 here. So I'll go to the next page here. Okay, so there you can see practical applications. All right. So let's take a good look here at, say, this word problem right here. It says, oh, sorry, thought that would zoom in, but it did not. Let me make that bigger. Can I make that big? Okay, I can. Cool. All right. Sorry about this, folks. I'm just trying to make it more readable for everybody, so want to be super duper extra sure here if I can. That's still bad. All right, let's try. Let's just go with this. Sorry, everybody. Working out the kinks. I'm only one man. I have a one-man job. All right. So it says, in setting up his latest wiring job, an electrician cut the following lengths of wire. And there you see some following lengths of wire. Find the total length of wire used. Okay. Now by itself. Oh, right on, man. Welcome. So in setting up his latest wiring job, an electrician cut the following lengths of wire. So these are the lengths of wire here. Find the total length of wire used. Okay, now by itself, this question is not that hard, okay? But let's talk about the, the details here. The devil's always in the details when it comes to critical thinking. And although this is a simple problem, this does highlight some very, very important things that we're going to stress on for the remainder of the semester. So let's talk about that right now. Now, in this particular problem here, what would be a good keyword to tell you what to do in terms of calculating this particular word problem. What do you think a good keyword here in number 1 for this practical application? What would be a good keyword here? Okay, that's correct. Total. And what would total tell you? So total will tell you that you would need to. Okay, that's correct. Now we'll talk about feet here as well. ATEP. We're gonna talk about that as well. But we want to look at just the word total, right? And we say, all right, well, if we have the word total, all right, that means addition, right? We're adding up some random numbers, okay, whatever those numbers are. We don't really care what the numbers are because, that's just a part of the process here. But the keyword is like total, all right, would be say for addition, all right? And there are many, many keywords there, for addition. For example, total or sum or you know, add or plus or whatever the case may be. Those are for say addition. So, we have to recognize that there are certain keywords there that we want to be on the lookout for that tell us, hey, this is what you got to do as part of this process in order to solve this particular problem. And not all of them are going to be necessarily like that, but again, it is definitely a thing. Now, ATEP, you said feet, and I kind of like the fact that you also said feet. Um, Not so much as it is also a keyword here, and that those are units. Okay, units here again, such as examples such as feet or inches or grams or liters. Okay, whatever the case is, for our particular units, units here are going to be very, very important. Um, yes, units need to be labeled so the answer is easily understood. Completely agree with that. Absolutely. All right, so I agree. So should be labeled. Now, I also want to talk about one more thing, though, in addition to that comment, because I think that's wonderfully said, and that is units also talk about context. And this is going to be a very, very important factor in a lot of the application problems we're going to be covering here for the semester, is we want to be able to look at context here for each and every single one of these application problems, because not all the context is necessarily going to be the same for, say, let me give you a great example. What if I said the lengths of wire here were say 387 feet, 913 feet, 76 feet, 2,640 inches, and 845 feet. Well, as you can hear there, 2,640 is in inches and not in feet, and we would have to convert 2640 from inches into feet before we go ahead and add those values together. So we're going to want to be able to look at that as well when we do these critical thinking problems, because again, one of the most common mistakes in math is not putting everything in the same context first and then applying the calculation to that. So we always make that assumption that everything's always the same anyway. So why not just do it? And this is like, I would love to brute force things all the time, and that would make things significantly easier. But I can't brute force everything unless it's the same context. So we're gonna put that down as well. So let me get back here. Okay, here we are. So again, context must be the same. This is very important here. If I can spell. So context, it must be the same. This is really, really important in a lot of our critical thinking problems. Now, I want to talk about one more thing here. And you're like saying, there's one more thing here? I'm like, yes, there is definitely one more thing here that we can talk about, even in a simple problem like this. And you're saying, well, hang on a second, that doesn't seem to make any sense. Where would be the last thing that you would be able, you can get out of this problem? And I can make a contention here that the last thing that we want to talk about here is how we look at word problems and critical thinking problems. Okay. So this is another key here. So we have the concepts. Let's say we do the concept, and that's all good and great. But how we look at word problems, only from my personal opinion, always comes from two steps. All right, two steps. The first one is interpretation. So you got to be able to know what the heck it's saying. Like, if you have no idea what it's saying, then yeah, that kind of stinks. So, um, yeah. All right, so that's no good. Interpretation here is, in my opinion, 90% of every word problem ever made. Any problem that you come up with, whether it's a real life problem or a math problem, math word problem, interpretation is one of the most important things. The reason why is because if you don't interpret it correctly, okay, then you're going to get it wrong 100% of the time. And it doesn't matter what you do. Math is not friendly when it comes to that. If you just don't understand it, guess what? You're going to get it wrong 100% of the time. That's just generally how things are going to go with math, because math doesn't like me, it doesn't like you. It's very rigid in that regard. So you have to do things in a particularly certain way. There may be more than one way to get to that final result, but still, if you don't know what you're looking at, then you just kind of like throw the papers up in the air and you're like, okay, I have no idea what the heck I'm doing, and then you're like, oh, that sucks. So yeah, I obviously don't want you to feel like that, but again, we have to be realistic about what the what the expectations are at the end of the day. And then the second point here is going to be calculation. And calculation is the last 10%. So we learn the concept here, but then we, once we interpret it and once we figure out what we need to do, we go ahead and then finally calculate it using the steps from the interpretation. So that's essentially how we want to approach a lot of these problems, is using all of these guys here, in some form or capacity. I'm going to add a few more keywords here because obviously we're doing plus, minus, times, and divide. So we have difference, minus, less, um, things like that. Subtracted. This would be subtraction. Um, we can look at product times multiply. Okay, this would be for multiplication. There are a lot more words in this, obviously, but these are some common words you see. Quotient, divide. Uh, what would be one more word off the top of my head? Quotient, divide, or drawing a blank there. We'll just go with that. we'll just go with that for now. Division there. I'm pretty sure I'm missing out on a few of them there, but yeah, I think you get the general gist there. So, all right. Are there any questions so far about that? Okay. Everybody seems okay. That's good. Okay. All right. Now, so if there are no questions there, we'll go ahead and move forward. All right. So, what I wanted to look at next here is another way to kind of use interpretation here that can be fairly helpful. So let's go ahead and take a look at another tip here. Let's look at number 2, and you're like, man, this seems a little slow, but trust me, like I say, there's a purpose to reading these questions through just a little bit, as we're going to see a lot of questions like that in some capacity or form. So the Acme Lumber Company made 4 deliveries of 1 inch by 6 inch flooring, 3280, 2650, 2465, and 2970 floor. Looks like feet. Sure, we'll go with feet. Feet by meter or something like that. Anyway, board feet. Sorry, that's what it means. What was the total number of board feet of flooring delivered? Yeah, of course, we could do practice problems together. That's what we'll be doing here in terms of application questions and whatever. That's perfectly fine. Absolutely. I'm here to guide you through some of these questions here. So absolutely. All right. So if we take a look at that, how would we do number 2? And what would be our answer for that? So how do you think we could do number 2 here for this question? What should we do? And once you do, what you get for your answer there? Just let me know there. Hey, hey. Did I miss something? Sorry. So I made 4 deliveries. Got again, these are your guys. All right. So what would you do here? So you add them all together. Okay. So very good. You add up 3280, 2650, 2465, and 2970. Okay. And that's absolutely correct. Okay. So by far and away, I think everybody would agree this this isn't this isn't crazy hard. Okay, so I'll just put it here. So we get again 3280 plus 2650 plus 2465 plus 2970, and you're like, oh, okay, that's 11365. Again, you can feel free to use the calculator for that. I don't mind whatsoever. Okay, so calculator's just fine. Again, just keep it as realistic as possible. Now, you're probably saying, well, why would you even put this problem here of 11,365 board feet? That was so easy. Okay, that's so incredibly boring. And be like, yeah, all right, that's fair. But there is one part of this that you have to be careful about in certain problems. So I want to talk about that here in this problem as well. I want you to take a look here. Oftentimes, when you read a word problem or you're trying to interpret a word problem, say a critical thinking problem, you look at this and you say 1 inch by 6 inch flooring, and you're like, you have this idea in mathematics for whatever reason. We all have this idea. It's like we want to be able to apply every number that we see in a word problem somewhere in the middle of the problem, and that's just not true. Okay, that's just not true. So if we see 1 inch by 6 inches, okay, a 1 inch by 6 inch flooring has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the problem. It has nothing to do with the rest of the problem. It's just a red herring, all right? And that can throw you off in the problem. That can be fairly difficult to deal with. And there are problems that are like that where they just kind of throw in this random 1 inch by 6 inch. I could call that 3 inches by 15 inches, whatever, and that would be the same. That would be the same answer no matter what. So it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Okay, so one thing that I do want to actually kind of stress on here is that while it again the problem itself is easy, no question about it, but we have to look out for information that is not relevant to the problem. Okay, this is really, really important. It's one of the trickiest parts here, but again, we talk about 1 inch by 8, what, 1 by 6 or whatever. Yeah, who cares about that? That doesn't have anything to do with the problem. All right, so um, that's one thing that we have to be extra vigilant about when we do these word problems, is just looking at those. Okay, so like I said here, we're not doing crazy things here. Okay, we're just doing things that again are practical, but we also have to be careful as well to see if the information presented to us is even relevant as part of the calculation. Don't always try and force every number that you see there in a word problem into the calculation itself. It may not be relevant whatsoever. So again, just just keeping you on your toes there. All right. Are there any questions here so far? Again, if you don't have any questions, just please type no in the chat there, and then I can move on or whatever. Okay. Now, let me ask you guys a quick question here. Like, I know we're meeting for 2 hours and 45 minutes. I know that's quite a long time. Um, so I'm going to leave it kind of in your hands here. Uh, would you guys prefer that we take a break in the middle, or do you want me to kind of go for the 2 hours and 45 minutes here, kind of straight up? It's kind of up to you guys, because it's whatever you're comfortable with. So, kind of the decision's kind of in your hands, because I don't want to be like, oh, you know, no break. Okay. So Techno Chicken says no break. Anybody else? No break. Okay. So I'll keep that. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. If you guys say no break, then that's fine. We won't take a break. We'll just keep powering through until we get through the end of the material there. So um, yeah, that's perfectly fine. If we're not here for the full amount of time, it is what it is. But I have a set amount of material, and I want to be sure that the pace is good for you guys. So you know that's what's most important. It's not about me; it's about you. So go ahead and take a swig of water though, because it gets hot in this. There we go. Some nice water. There we are. Yeah, it will. Yeah, the stream is on delay by a few seconds, so yeah. That's why I kind of pause for a little bit and wait for you guys to kind of respond. Yeah, so there's like a delay of like maybe 4 seconds, more than likely. Oof. Hello. All right. Can we do a quick recap of everything from the beginning? Quick recap. Okay, so quick recap. Go to Blackboard. I guess what else can I say here? Go to Blackboard. Um, go to course materials. You can read up on the syllabus there. Um, you can also check out the discussion board where you can ask me questions. Check out the course materials about how to register from Mymathlab. And again, I would just read over each thing carefully. You're here on the Twitch page, so I'm really happy to see that. Again, just follow me here on Twitch. and get yourself registered for Mymathlab there. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is on the syllabus at email@hartfordcollege.edu. So please feel free to kind of, feel free to kind of email me if you have any other questions, and I'll help you out there. Okay. I can't go through everything, but again, that's where I can direct you to see kind of the information there and have you read it over. All right. Any other questions here before we move forward? Okay. All right. There we go. Need to go here. There we go. Okay. Let's go to the next part here. And we're going to go to, I think most people are pretty fine with plus and minus, plus and stuff. So here you can see a lot of different types of, things that, here we can see a lot of different types of things you can see here. It's really not too hard. Okay. You just have to be able to interpret it. And these things are very, very straightforward. So occasionally you're going to get formulas that look like this. Okay, so here are formulas. You just kind of plug and chug into the formulas. We're going to talk about more formulas here a little bit later on. So they kind of introduce it here with the electronic stuff. But like I said, we'll see more about formulas here later on and how that'll go. So many of these things here in this first chapter, really not too hard. Again, very straightforward considering you're just working with one operator. It's a thing. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move forward here to the subtraction portion of the program. So I'm going to go to, where is that here? 27. Okay. All right. All right. So let's take a good look here at let's see which one would be the best here. Yep, here we go. Let's look at number 4. Number 4 is just number 4 is one of those things that's again not hard. It just, you just have to be careful about detail. So devil's always in the details here. So let's talk about subtraction here. So 5 pieces measuring 26, 47, 38, 27, and 32 inches are cut from a steel bar that is 200 centimeter inches, 200 centimeters long. I can't even say anything right. All right, allowing for a total of 1 centimeter for waste in cutting. What is the length of the piece remaining? Okay, so what would be the answer to this particular problem here? Oh, there we go. It's actually better. So what would we get here in this particular case? We're at number 4 here. There we go. All right, 30 centimeters. Okay, so 30 centimeters is correct. Good. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of move stuff around here. So the way we get that here specifically is, again, we're going to take our 200. And again, there's a couple ways. What page? Oh, okay, we're on page 27 in the e-text. 2727. And we're on number 4. So number 4 on page 27. So you can set it up like this. I mean, probably this is what you kind of ended up doing here. You know, you did 200 minus 26 minus 47 minus 38 minus 27 minus 32. And then maybe you subtracted the other 1 from that, okay, because you had 1 inch for waist, 1 centimeter, pardon me, for waist. And you ended up with 30 centimeters, okay? So, again, we get, let me check that here, just to be on the safe side. Hopefully we have that extra bit. Oh, okay. Ooh, that extra 1. Gotta be careful about that. You get 29. Aha, all right. I mean, I gotta be extra careful. So, I want you to take a look here. You probably did everything right. You got rid of the first, yeah. So we have to subtract the 1 because the 1 here was waste from, so if we subtract the 1 here was considered waste for the cutting process. So unfortunately we also lost the 1 there. So we actually get 29 centimeters there. So that 1 does play a role here in this particular case because you can see the context here says it's waste in cutting. So now another way to interpret this particular problem here is you could also consider doing it this way. You could take 200. Hey, that's okay. Hey, look. Look, you don't have to feel bad. Hey, that's what we're here to do. We're here to take a look at different ways to solve different types of problems, you know. So, you know, don't worry if you get it, you know, right or wrong. It's just a matter of, hey, if we're here to learn together, that's about it. So nothing too crazy. I promise you that. All right. Okay. So let's take a look here. We got 200 minus 26, and what you can do here is you can actually add all these guys together because this is the sum of all the cuts that we made plus the waste, and then you'll still end up with the same value here. So there's 2 ways you can actually do this. You like 200 minus the sum of all the cuts, or 200 minus each individual cut plus, you know, minus the waste there, and we'll end up at the same result. So there's, again, there's my point here is that there, in a lot of problems, there may be multiple ways to get down to the same result. So that's another key here. It does mean that there are all of the time, but there may be um, maybe multiple ways to get to the same result. Doesn't always occur for every type of problem, but, you know, I want you to understand one thing. What I present to you here in this class may not be the way that you're comfortable with, and that's okay. As long as my way is getting to that answer, and if that's consistent, then that's a valid method. If you have a different way of getting to that answer and it's consistent as well, then use that method. Okay, so I'm not going to criticize you guys and saying, well, he did it this way and I do it that way. But if they're both consistent, then in my eyes, they're both equal. I happen to do it one way, but it doesn't make it the way. Okay, that's one thing you need to understand is that I know some teachers maybe in the past always told you this is the way to do something. But if there's some other way to do it and you do it in the same consistent process, then who cares, right? You want to be able to do it in a way that you're comfortable with and that is consistent. That's the bigger key. Is it consistent? You get the same consistent results. Okay, fine. I don't know why you need to why other people complain it's not done this way. It's like who cares, you know? It's a complete waste of breath. So, you know, you should be able to do it your way as long as you can consistently get the same results that I do. Cool, I'm down with that. All right. Okay. All right. Now, albeit not that hard, let's go to, man, am I kind of losing stuff here? Here we go. We're going to go ahead and do another problem here. Okay, and that'll be here on that very next page, page 28. So, other types of problems that we're going to see. Okay, so we're going to see like diagram types of problems. So if you're in manufacturing or you're doing print reading, or heck, if you're in HVAC, then of course, as you are aware, all right, schematics are very important here. Got to know how, certain machines work, or again, what kind of parts that you're making. And again, just looking at dimensions or using finding the missing dimension. For example, here, maybe an engineer just kind of forgot to put a dimension on a particular schematic or print, and you have to figure out what the remaining length is going to be. Either the engineer may be out of his workstation or something like that. Then you could figure that out on your own based on the things that you see here on the print. Okay, so here would be a good example right here. All right, so if you took a look at this letter C here, let's take a look at letter C. What would be the length of L here? So L is right here, right where my mouse is hovering. What would be the length L here in 8C? So I'm going to put that there. Yeah, that's correct, right? So not too hard. Again, as you can see here. Yep, 4 inches. Everybody's got that. So again, as you see there, the total length here is 4. And then you have 8 and 2 here respectively. You just go ahead and subtract off that 10. Right? So we have 14 minus 8 minus 2. Again, exactly correct. Everybody's spot on. 4 inches. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So we'll be looking at we'll be looking at things like that, for example, and you know, not crazy hard here, but again, diagrams and schematics are definitely going to be a thing that we'll be using quite a bit. Okay. None of that is important, so let's move on here. All right, so 1, 3 here is multiplication, so let's just quickly go over multiplication here. Multiplication here, and again, we're not doing anything too hard here, but I'm going to go to page 39, so 3939. So okay, so I want to take a look at a particular question here, and let's go ahead and see how we can solve for this. It's again, not too hard. Okay, so let's take a look here at number 13. Okay, so take a look at number 13. So number 13 says, it's machine trades. If a machine produces 16 screws per minute, how many screws will it produce in 24 hours? All right. So if a machine produces 16 screws a minute, how many screws will it produce in 24 hours? So they might actually already have the units for you in certain problems. So 23,040. All right, how did we get that? So how do we get 23,000? The calculator's nice. You got to tell me what you bit bop booped on the calculator, bro. Okay. Okay, that's right. Okay, very good. Okay, so couple of things here. Again, you got to keep an eagle eye here. One of the things people there's a trap a lot of people fall underneath is typically they look at this and they're like, oh, it's 16 times 24, and the answer is no, it's not. It's not that. No, no. Again, because it's 16 screws per minute, not per hour, right? So we have to say, okay, well, there's 16 screws per minute, but since we want to produce 24 hours, we have to multiply by 60 and then multiply that by 24 to figure out how many minutes there are in a 24-hour day. And that indeed will get us the answer here of 23,040 screws. Yeah. Okay. So, yes. Not directly after, 24 hours later. Those are per the Twitch guidelines. So, I'll be posting this 24 hours after this initial broadcast. So, like I said, you can watch the replay immediately here on Twitch if you like. It will be up for 14 days, and I will put it as a kind of a permanent video on my YouTube channel. So that way, beyond the 14 days, you can certainly watch that. So hopefully that'll be helpful. All right. Okay, let's take a good look here at another one. All right. So let's look at, let's see here. Yeah, no problem. Happy I could help. All right, let's take a look here at, let's see, which one should I do? All right, let's do this one here because it has a couple of has one important thing. Let's look at 18. So according to the EPA rating, the average gas mileage for a certain car is expected to be 24 miles per gallon. How many total miles can be expected from a 16-gallon tank? All right, so this one's not hard, but what would our answer be here in this case? But there is an important point to be made in this problem. So 384. Okay, so 384 miles, right? That'd be our answer here. So again, we're not doing anything super hard here. No, I totally get that. But I do want to highlight something here that is rather important, okay, in a problem like this. Like I said, even the simplest problems certainly can provide you some insight into doing more advanced problems. So that's kind of like what I'm kind of stressing here today a lot in chapter 1 is like, hey, this is easy stuff. I ain't gonna lie. I would agree. This is super simple, but where can we pick apart some of those details that can help us with even more advanced problems later on down the line? Well, yeah, this is certainly the ground floor, and we can certainly take these, advanced issues, and we can actually use them to a certain degree. So let's take a look here. I want to talk about another key here. We talked about units earlier, and so in a problem like this, in number 18, we had, again, 24 miles per gallon, right? And we went ahead and multiplied by 16 gallons. All right? In effect, what we have just done is just do some simple unit conversion, which we will going to see later on here in chapter 5. Essentially, since gallons here is on the top and gallons here is on the bottom here, because we say miles per gallon, okay, then this gallon will essentially cancel out with the other gallon. And oops, I didn't mean to do that. Where is that? There it is. Okay, so this gallon and this gallon effectively cancel each other out, leaving you with the units of miles. So this is why we have miles as our remaining unit here, and why we get 384 miles here. Oops. Well, that would be helpful if I didn't have that. uh, yeah. All right. All right. So 384 miles is what you can do. So again, unit conversions here, albeit this one is fairly simple. We're going to look at more complex unit conversions. You've probably done unit conversions in the past, but again, especially if you're in manufacturing, yeah, unit conversions are going to be a pretty big deal, considering you could get orders from overseas. So if you get domestic orders, then you're talking, of course, just U.S. standard conversion rates. But if you're talking, say, an order from Germany or whatever, some European country, then you're going to have to go with the metric system. So you need to know how to make that adjustment between a print in metric and a print in U.S. standard. So very, very important. So there have been uh, there have been things that have, there have been bad accidents because people didn't know the difference between metric and U.S. standard. So gotta be careful about that stuff. That stuff's actually pretty serious. Um, all right. Okay, so we have that. That's fine. All right, let's go back here to the text. All right. So okay, again, not much going on there per se, but again, as you can see, it kind of works that way. All right, let's move forward here. I know we're going over this fast, but again, there's not a whole lot really going on with these first few sections here in chapter 1. So I just want to kind of point out there how that works. Okay, let's see where. Okay, there it is. So we're going to go to page 51 here in the e-text. And again, this is about division. So division here, fairly straightforward. So again, you can use your calculator for that, as it is fairly easy. So let's take a look here at a couple of these problems, and we're not gonna get into too much detail, but one of the problems here is actually rather good. So actually, two of the problems here are actually rather good. So I want to go to number 9 down here, and I don't think I gotta move that over a bit. So there we go. So I want to look at number 9. All right, and let's go ahead and read off number 9 here. It says trades management here. So Mr. Martinez, the owner of this restaurant, hired a plumber who worked 18 hours installing some new equipment. The total bill for labor and materials used was $46.96. If the cost for materials was $3,400, how much was the plumber paid per hour? Okay. Can anybody give me an answer here? So for number 9. All right. There we go. So what is the answer here for number 9? What would be the process here about what we'll need to do? 72 an hour? Okay. Can you tell me how you got that? Again, it's how you got that that's a little bit more. Again, I agree. That is indeed the answer. So I fully agree with that. Now you got to tell me how you got there. So how did we come up with 72 an hour? I fully agree though. You could just type it out in chat. You just show me how you got that. All right, perfect. Okay. Now, you're probably wondering why I kind of stress that here. It says, now I'll be honest with you guys, okay? Yes, absolutely true. I want. I know this seems silly, and I'm like, why am I stressing kind of how you got that answer? Well, I'll tell you what the reality is. The reality is that what's the difference between a good worker and a great worker? A good worker can know the answer there at the end of the day. A great worker can tell you exactly how he or she got it. That's the difference. If you know how you got it and you can justify that, then you're a great worker. A good worker can just come up with an answer. A great worker can actually do both. So there's a big difference there. Like even in today's marketplace, that's how you kind of when we try and do something outside in the the real world and stuff, we want to be able to have ourselves shine, you know, basically, have ourselves kind of stand out, I guess is the best way to put it. So that's fairly important there. So I know it seems silly that I ask you, but again, there is a purpose and a rhyme and a reason. So all right, so that's absolutely correct. So again, we take the 4696 subtracted by the 3400, we get $1,296, and we divide that by the 18 hours you worked, and it's $72 per hour. Correct. All right, very good. Very nicely done. So you can see here in problems like this, there could be multi-step problems here. So that's another key here. So again, multiple steps may be required, which is fine. All right, that's certainly plausible. Okay, it doesn't mean the end of the world, but again, that's a thing. All right. Is there anything else I really want to do here? A lot of this is just kind of like boring. Mm, no. All right. Nothing much really in this section here that I think is any good. Yeah, it's pretty boring. Okay. Yeah, it's not really exciting. All right. Let's go ahead and do the last section here, section 1.5. I know today we're just going over this stuff here rather quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna go to page 57 here. So here's some practical applications uh, of this. Now, I want to talk about something here first. So let's go over here. So the next part here is section 1.5, which is order of operations. Now, I do want to clarify a few things here. Now, order of operations, you've probably heard of the classic thing of PEMDAS. So P-E-M. So again, actually, you know what? Tell you what. Before we get into PEMDAS here, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna just put up an example up here. Tell you what. That's what I'll do. Let me put up an example here. So let's go 6 divided by 2 times 3. All right. So take a look at this question here. What's the answer to this? What's the answer to this problem? Go ahead and put it in chat. What do you think the answer to this problem is? Okay, let's see ones. Go ahead. I'll wait for more answers. It's fine. I see some people got ones. Anybody else want to? One. Okay. One. Anyone else? Again, just feel free to. Somebody, you can tell me 6 divided by 2 times 3. You get I see ones all around. Anyone else before I move forward? Okay. So, let's take a good look here at this problem. There's a reason why I put this example up. 6 divided by 2 times 3 is equal to 9. It is not equal to 1. Let's go ahead and explain why this is. And you're probably saying, yo, what the actual F? All right? Which I'd be like, yeah, I can see that. All right? Yes, the answer is indeed 9. Now, I want to talk about why this is, because this actually goes back to how you were taught order of operations maybe way back when. So I want to talk about, yeah, I know. Like I said, this is why I like doing the class a lot, because it's like, we want to cover some of those deficiencies, some of those things that you were told from before, and they'd be like complete bupkis. So let's talk about PEMDAS, okay? All right, so this is PEMDAS. All right, so this is how you've seen this, okay? No problem. Now, let's go over each one here. What does P stand for? You guys remember? Parentheses. All right, so parentheses is correct. Absolutely. What about E? Exponents. Absolutely. All right. What about M and D? So what about M and D? Okay, multiply, divide. And of course, by that same token, then I think everybody would agree, you get add, subtract for the last one. So now, I want to talk about multiply, divide, because a lot of people came up with 1 here because what they saw was when they were taught PEMDAS back in the day, okay, you saw that multiplication came first because it goes PEMDAS. And I'll be like, okay, that's fair. But the problem, what they should have taught you is that if you see how I wrote multiply, divide, notice I put that here on the same level, because in actuality, multiply and divide are on the same rank, okay? And this is very, very important here to know. And we want to break that kind of cycle here, okay? Multiply and divide are the same rank. So if we don't have any parentheses and stuff in a problem like 6 divided by 2 times 3, all we do is go left to right. Okay, that's all we're doing. So I'm just going to do, again, straight up. This straight up becomes, again, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Well, let me just tap over here. This would be like 3, and then times 3 at the end, and that's where we get the 9 from. That's fine. That's exactly why we're here to cover the basics. That's what we're doing here today, just covering those nice basics. So, no problem. And that's the most important part here. I mean, let's answer this question here. Let's kind of shake out the cobwebs a bit, right? Because if I put like 6 minus 3 plus 2, right? I mean, in your head, right? 6 minus 3 plus 2, you would do 6 minus 3 first, and then you'd add the 2 to that, right? I mean, just think about that. You do 6 minus 3, which is 3, and then plus 2, which is 5. And then that would be your answer, right? You would go left to right. That's it. Just left to right. So why don't we do the same thing with multiply and divide? If we do the same thing with plus and minus, right? If we do the same thing with plus and minus, why aren't we doing the same thing here for multiply divide? That's the kind of mindset we want to kind of go into. That's why it's 9 there, because it works exactly the same way as add and subtract. So that's I want to kind of point that out there, because I want to break these kind of bad habits, these bad, whatever was told to you in the past in terms of in this concept or whatever. We want to be able to break those cycles and kind of clear things up to make it easier on yourself at the end of the day. So this is one of those things that I usually I always ask every class, and it just I'm not sure why they promote multiply to come first before divide. I don't know why, but it happens. So I gotta I want to make sure that when you're going out there or using math for whatever you're using for, you come up with something like this, then you're like, oh, okay, now you just know go from left to right if there are no parentheses involved. Fair enough, you know. So that's one of the things I kind of want to stress here in this particular case is something like this, because it is important. Okay, it is important to get those fundamentals down. Fundamentals are the number one key into understanding math, because in math you can't understand anything advanced if you don't understand the fundamentals. So we want to be able to be sure we get to a point where the fundamentals are easier for us to go ahead and explain and work with. Okay. Okay, are there any questions about that, by the way, before I move forward? Negative. Nope. Okay. All right. I just hope that I've been easy to follow so far. So hopefully everything's been cool. Yeah. All right. All right. Let's go on, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a few more examples here from 1.5, and then we'll wrap things up here. Um, so let's take a look here at back at the textbook here. So let's go ahead and do a couple of a couple of problems here, and we'll see exactly how we can work this out. So let's go ahead and take a look here at number 4. Okay, so let's look at number 4. So I'll go ahead and read this off here. So at the beginning of the day on Monday, the parts department has on hand 520 spark plugs. Mechanics in the service department estimate they'll need about 48 plugs per day. A new shipment of 300 will arrive on Thursday. Write out the statement that gives the number of spark plugs at the end of the day Friday and calculate that total. All right, so we want to figure out how many spark plugs are going to be in that shop by the end of the day on Friday. Okay, now again, just to go slow. All right, so one of the tips here that I can certainly tell you right now that I'll add to our ever-growing list of keys here. One of the tips is if you're not sure, okay, the tips here is just, go slow. All right, everybody has a certain pace that they work at. I'm not expecting you to work at 100 miles an hour. I'm not expecting you to automatically say, I got the answer right away. Okay, I'm not expecting that. Okay, I have no expectations that that's going to be the case. All right, like anything, when you start a new job, okay, you're not good at your job when you start. Okay, you don't come in and you're just like, oh my god, I'm the best thing since sliced bread, and you're like, okay, maybe not. You gotta learn the systems, you gotta learn the machines, or you gotta learn how things work in the workplace, and then over time, you get better and better at it until it's like almost automatic after some point. And that's what works here. So if you don't get something right away, even this problem here, well, it's not super difficult. then at the end of the day, though, you just go slow and just be able to work at your own pace until you start picking up on those patterns quicker and quicker over time. So just another tip there, just go slow if you need to, okay? I don't expect perfection the first go around, okay? That's we're here to learn and get better. Okay. So the answer, you say 580. 580. All right. And how did we get 580? So how did we get 580 here? Again, just write it out in chat. You just have, I agree, 580. I just need to know how we got to 580. Just what would be the work behind it, I suppose. Grab this here. All right, let's take a good look here at this one, since I agree it's 580 though. So let's take a look here. So we have 520 spark plugs to start with. Okay, and we need 48 plugs per day. So okay, subtract that. All right, that's correct. Very good. So we'll take 520, right, minus 48 times 5, because we need to use 48 spark plugs on average per day. And then we add that to the 300 spark plugs we get in a special shipment. And I fully agree, 580 spark plugs is correct. Okay? Yeah, absolutely spot on there. Very nice. All right. Good stuff. That's okay. I just want you to show me the work, like I just kind of typed it out here on my thing. So you could type it out like what I have here on the chat. So if you want to type it out like that, that's cool. Yeah, I'm not expecting you to like the whole explanation of everything in the world. So no, just something simple, I promise you. Let's try another one. Okay. And that one's kind of not very exciting. Here we go. Let's do that one. That one's fine. All right, so let's do one more here for the day, and then we'll wrap things up here a bit. Okay. All right, so let's look at number 8 here. Number 8 says a caterer must estimate the amount and cost of strawberries required for an anniversary dinner involving 200 guests. She estimates that she will need about 6 strawberries per person for decorations and cocktails, and about 10 strawberries per person for the dessert. A local farmer sells strawberries in flats containing 80 strawberries each for $7 per flat. How many flats will she need, and how much should she expect to pay for the strawberries? Okay. So let's let's take a gander at that. All right. So let's break this down one step at a time here. Okay, so we'll just get some quick answers here, and you'll see exactly how we go through this process. So how many strawberries do we need per person according to number 8 here? So how many strawberries do we need per person here? Yeah, that's right. 16, right? So we need 16 strawberries per person for each one of these cocktails and decorations and desserts and stuff. All right. So what should we do with that 16 there? All right. Totally agree with that. And that will equal, what will that equal? 16 times 200. I agree with that. So 16, so 3,200. Okay. All right. And we take that 3,200, and since each flat contains 80 strawberries, okay, so we want 3,200 strawberries total, and each flat of strawberries contains 80 strawberries each, so that would be 80. And indeed, we get 40 flats of strawberries. And then what do we do with the 40 there? Yeah, multiply that by 7, spot on. And 40 times 7 is going to be exactly as was stated earlier here. Oops, be helpful if I do that. Would be exactly stated earlier here, $280. That is correct. Okay, so uh, so you can see it's again a simple multi-step process, but we're going to see more things later on, like a few algebraic concepts here, which will require a few more multi-step processes. Okay, so I'm just kind of wanting to set you up here for certain things, certain multi-step problems here that we need to kind of go through in order to solve, a little bit more advanced word problems. Today is more of like, oh, let's go over the kind of the basics, the fundamentals here. Um, just to kind of get you comfortable about how to attack a lot of these kind of word problems and critical thinking type of problems. Okay, so um, I want to be able to showcase that. And again, we talked about tips here that could be fairly helpful for you. Again, into again taking care of and attacking these problems here with the correct type of critical thinking here at the end of the day. And there's of course we're going to be doing a lot more examples here over the course of the semester. So just kind of buckle in and get comfortable a bit. We'll take it slow though. So I'm not, we have, even though for some people it's 8 weeks, or some people 16 weeks, still tend to take it slow. We're pretty much since we finished chapter 1, this is kind of like I do this on purpose because then we're pretty far ahead actually just by finishing one chapter today. So it's very, very convenient because then on certain parts that I feel would be harder, we can go slower on those parts. And then, you'll be able to pick up the material a bit easier so we don't have to like constantly being rushed all the time. I want you to be able to take your time on tougher concepts that may not be so easy to see, such as probably the last chapter there, trigonometry can be a little bit overbearing for some people if you haven't really seen it in a long time or haven't really used it too often. So, um, yeah, that's something that we have to be careful about there. Okay, so that, my friends, is the end of chapter 1. Nice. All right, so very, very nice. Are there any questions about chapter 1? Okay. Oh, okay. Are there any questions overall that you would like me to answer? Um, I'll be happy to take on any general questions that you may have. Okay. Now, I want to at least point out here, just to give you guys a friendly reminder. Okay, so remember here, do I have a code for Mymathlab? You need to purchase a code on mymathlab.com. You need to purchase an access code and then use the course ID. Yes, you will need to pay for that. That is correct. So just as a friendly reminder, for those of you who had issues with the 7th edition stuff, please feel free to email me, and I'll see what I can do to get you squared away with Pearson and stuff. So I'll probably contact them and see what the story is. You could what you can do is you might want to yeah, I probably will contact them and see how we can get that done. So I have the contact there. It's just a matter of just hopefully receiving a message in a period of time. So uh, the next Twitch meeting is Wednesday at this same time, 5 o'clock. Oh, absolutely. I will certainly get back to you ASAP. Absolutely, yes. Um, as soon as I possibly can, I will certainly see what they have to say, and hopefully they can get you switched over to. They can use that access code for the 11th edition there. Yeah, I don't know. Of course, of course. Like I said, if you're an adult, you take responsibility. And if it's my fault, then you gotta take responsibility. You gotta make it good. That's important. And I'll try my best. So the only thing I can't, unfortunately, I can't rush the process as much as I would like to. So, just as a reminder here, I wanna. Okay, all the homework is through Mymathlab. That's correct. Yes. You just go ahead and read the syllabus there. Read that carefully, and then again, if you have any questions about it, look through the course materials as well. If you have any questions about it, just feel free to email me. Or again, you can watch the replay right here on Twitch right after I'm done, and any I kind of explain things here at the beginning, so um, it'll be there for you to kind of go through. Okay, so one thing I haven't mentioned here is office hours. Obviously, since we're online, office hours will also be online here through Twitch. If you want to ask me questions here through Twitch or whatever, again, just contact me via email or on the discussion board. Say, hey, I want to meet you for office hours. We can arrange a time, and then again, we can just meet here on Twitch and we can kind of talk back and forth and see what's going on. Um, we can talk back and forth here on Twitch or through the discussion board, and we can see what's going on, and I can help you out with stuff there. So if you want to see me through office hours, just go ahead and just you contact me via email or the discussion board, and I'll be happy to help you out once we arrange something there. I also have time after class, so if you want to ask me questions after class, feel free to do so as well. That's perfectly fine. Like I said, I'm here to help you as much as I possibly can. So this isn't, something it's about your success. So it's not about me; it's about your success at the end of the day. So I want to be sure that you're taken care of at the end of the day. So we'll try our best here. That's what we're gonna do. And this, again, as a reminder here, another reminder, this stream will be put up on YouTube 24 hours after the end of the stream. So it's about 7:15 ish or so. So probably by 24 hours after that stream, so 7:30ish, 8 o'clock-ish, it will be put up on my YouTube channel, as per the Twitch guidelines there. But if you would like to watch the replay right away, you can come back here to the Twitch channel, and you can look through my previous videos. It will have my previous stream. It will stay up there for a maximum of 14 days, and then it will be deleted automatically by the system. I have no control over that, so unfortunately, that's why I ported over to YouTube 24 hours later. So again, it'll be a permanent thing on my channel, so you'll have access to that. Are there any questions you guys have? Any other questions? No? Okay. Cool beans. I hope you guys liked the first day here today. Hope you guys got comfortable a little bit. I'm just hoping to have some fun with you guys. At the end of the day, hopefully we get to learn stuff together. Um, and we're gonna see exactly how things work out. So we'll be I'll be trust me, like I said, your success is my success. So we're gonna see if we can get through this all together here in the next for the next 8 or 16 weeks. That's what we're here to do. Mm-hmm. Let's do it. Oh yeah, that's tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow I got to play D&D. Hey yo. Oh, I'm glad. I try to keep things as clear as possible because I know how math can be super confusing about a lot of things. So, um, yeah, I I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. Uh, you guys, you guys may or may not know, but I have failed classes before in math. So, I know how it feels to struggle with a subject as dry as this and as difficult as this. So I didn't become a math teacher because I knew math, from day one. That's not true. I was really bad at math for quite a while until like high school. So, I didn't start to put things together until like high school. But, it was still a slow roll at the end of the day. I still struggled even when I was a freshman in college. I think I got a C on my calculus test and whatnot. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a straight A student. I don't think I ever got straight A's in my life. No, I don't think so. I've never gotten straight A's in my life. So, for me to sit here and say, "Oh man, I know all this stuff. I know all this great stuff," at the end of the day, oh man, it's like, nah. It came with time, and it came with the experience. So, I'm not expecting. That's why I say you should go at your own pace because everybody has their own pace. I'm just trying to get you from point A to point B as, you know, in the most convenient way possible. But if that's not your convenient way, I would totally understand that too because, I thought in a different way than, some of my previous teachers. And I said, oh, hey, as long as the result's the same and it's consistent, I'm cool with that. So, um, that's what matters. So, for those of you who think that, yeah, sometimes, uh, yeah, for those of you who think that, yeah, every professor's got like super super smart or super straight A's or super everything. No, I'll guarantee you I was like a B student, and I failed plenty of classes. I mean, heck, I almost got kicked out of U of I, so I'm not. That was uh, that was a roller coaster of a semester of where I had to learn. Or yeah, I got my butt handed to me. So um, sometimes you got to learn through that experience. But I'm glad I had that experience. I'm glad, Sometimes I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'm glad I honestly say sometimes I'm glad I failed, and because you don't know how to grow if you're always succeeding. Because if let's say something comes along and you suddenly fail and you've never failed before in your life, well, you don't know how to take that kind of adversity on. If you fail a lot, then maybe you're doing the same thing over and over again, and maybe that's why you're failing. Then that's also not good. But if you fail a little bit of the time and learn on top of that, that's very positive. That promotes positive progress, and I'm hoping that that same positive progress will be on you. So yeah, am I expecting you to get every problem right? No. Am I expecting you to know every single concept of every single little thing? No. Let's not kid ourselves here. We're not. I have realistic expectations here. So, that's what I want from you guys, is to be just a bit better and kind of getting to know things a bit better. But if you stumble along the way, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to. It's not like you're pulling yourself back so far. It's not like you're digging yourself a hole. There are, I have a hand, and I'm willing for you to grab onto it, so I can pull you out of that hole, or get depressed over one missed problem. Don't worry about it. It happens. You're human. So you learn from it. You move on. I'm not expecting perfection. I'm expecting better than you previously were. All right. Sorry for the rant there, but just want to kind of get you a good idea about kind of what I have as my expectations there. So, okay. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you all very, very much for coming out to the stream today. Next time, we're going to go over the beginning here of Chapter 2. I'm going to go a little slower on Chapter 2 because Chapter 2 talks about our favorite friend in the whole wide world, fractions. And I know nobody likes fractions. So, since nobody likes fractions, we're going to spend a little bit of time on fractions and kind of go over kind of the little bits and pieces so we can get comfortable with fractions and how those things work. But now that we've set a base for that, then we should be good to go. All right. So that'll take care of it today, everybody. I want to thank you all again. And as for the people who emailed me, I will email you ASAP once I hear something from the Pearson rep. Again, if you send me your email and then all the information there, not your email of course, but your login name and stuff, and we'll see how things are kind of go there. So um, yeah, I'm hoping that we can just get you into that class, both of you. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, again, and have yourself a very wonderful night. Okay. Take care of yourselves. And yes, of course, I absolutely will. I understand how important that is to you. You spent money on it, and I'm not about to have you spend more money on something like that. So, yeah, that's fine. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Everyone, have yourself a wonderful day. We will see you on Wednesday. All right. Take care of yourselves, everybody. We'll talk to you later. All right. See you Wednesday.